civil aviation in India is booming. It's one of the fastest growing industries in India. It's one of the fastest growing markets anywhere in the world. The rate at which India has been acquiring civilian aircraft, airlines such as Indigo acquire a new aircraft once every week, gives you an idea of the potential that actually exists in the Indian market. The Minister Ram Mohan Naidu is a young and I must say extremely talented minister dealing with one of the most challenging parts of the Indian economy. He has to look after the economics of it all. He has to look after safety as well. It's been a challenging year, but also one that points to lots of opportunities. So let's talk about the larger India story first in civil aviation. How do you see it expanding to becoming, let's say, top 3 in the world?
To start with, I have to mention that India is already the 3rd largest domestic civil aviation market. And if you consider the international traveling also, we are the 5th. And very soon we are going to be the 3rd internationally also. And the reason that I say is the kind of numbers at which we are growing. The last 10 years itself, even though we had a situation of COVID, where the direct impact has been on aviation itself, a strong blow not only for domestic aviation in the country, but internationally. And it went to the point where many of the airlines also had to shut this shop. But we have crossed through COVID. We have achieved numbers where we have crossed the numbers, pre-COVID numbers also in terms of passengers flying. And today we are sitting at 250 million passengers in 2025. And year on year, we are seeing at least 10% growth in the amount of passengers that are coming into our air travel network. And then if you look at our airports, the number of airports have also increased from 74 in 2014 to 164. And it's a continuous process for us where we are trying to build 50 more airports in the next 5 years and achieve up to 350 up to 2047, the year 2047. And if you look at the aircrafts, you already mentioned that we have great orders. We have up to 1,700 orders right now. And we are expecting in the next 15 years of them to be delivered. And this year in 2026, we are going to see 106 aircrafts coming in. So these are all numbers which indicate that there is a strong demand that is there. And it is continuously going to grow for the next 20 to 25 years. So considering number 3, I would say that we have a great opportunity to cross those numbers also. Because India is aspiring today. There is an ambition, strong ambition at a larger population, not only people who are just presented with the opportunities, but at a large scale, people are aspiring to do much greater things. And in that aspiration, aviation becomes a strong story for them to kickstart their process.
Right.
And today, the people, I've talked about it in one of the sessions also, on how people who are coming from the rural areas, people who are coming from probably tier 3 cities, they've all become so comfortable with air travel today. Right. At one point of time, there was a lot of anxiety, there was a lot of nervousness, and they always felt that air travel is probably a exclusive way of traveling. It's only for the elite group, or it was only for a certain class of people. Yeah. But thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister and the vision that he always had this mantra with him, which is Hawai Chappal se Hawai Jahaj ka safar. And I can proudly say that to an extent we have made it a reality.
Yeah.
5 lakh people every day are traveling in the country by air.
No, it's absolutely incredible. It poses a challenge to the railways as well. But I must ask you, it's been a difficult year, and let's face it, safety has been a primary concern. We've had a horrific incident with Air India, AI-171. Indigo saw a system which some would suggest was overstretched at the level of the airline. But again, safety is your primary concern, more than economics. And you have undertaken a series of steps to ensure, number 1, flight duty time limitations. Pilots and crew are not stressed out. How critical is it for us to ensure safety, given the pace at which we are expanding?
It is not only critical, there shouldn't be any compromise when it comes to safety. And that is the attitude that we keep in civil aviation and the regulation that we do. Safety is of the topmost priority. No matter what we do, we talk about numbers, we talk about passengers, we talk about money, we talk about airports. Whatever we do is secondary. Safety and a secure way of traveling is the top priority, and these are the foundations and the pillars on which you have to build your civil aviation network, and that has been the priority. Based on that itself, we have been taking a lot of reforms. We want to ensure that the crew, that the pilots and all the people and the staff that are involved, they are adequately de-stressed, or their conditions of work conditions are all up to the global standards and up to the standards with which they have to be treated. And when I say that the challenges also, I just want to go back to the point that the nature of sector has changed. And simply being put as, from exclusive, we have become a very inclusive. More and more people are becoming comfortable traveling through air. And it's come to the point, if you look at many of the airports today, you find all classes of people coming in. So when the network is growing at such a scale, then obviously the regulation should follow. In fact, it has to be going hand in hand. And that is one thing that we are proactively looking into it. Because as the numbers are growing, there has to be some changes in the policy also, and that is exactly how the airports should be for the future. So here, one policy reform that we are trying to bring is that, see, when you talk about airports, it's always these mega structures that you're trying to build, long runways, huge terminals, and huge infrastructure capacity that you want to build. But that's not the way forward for us. What we are saying, see, we'll have the mega airports, which are metropolitan city airports. These are going to be the hubs. And then when you want to create the connectivity across the country, have medium airports, have smaller airports, have the spokes. So you don't need a big airport everywhere. You have to have club all these things. And likewise, when it comes to pilots, then we have changed the FDTL norms.
Yeah.
So each and every vertical that is there in aviation, according to the growth story that India is witnessing, and it's going to witness in the future also, proper policy making has to be done, and at regular intervals. So we are pacing ourselves in that manner.